Brian Cavanaugh was known as a reliable, easygoing guy who worked as a mechanic. His best friend since childhood, Jeremy Scott, was often seen hanging out at Brian's garage, helping him with repairs or grabbing beers after work. To the outside world, their bond seemed unbreakable. But underneath, financial struggles and jealousy were festering. Brian had recently inherited a small sum from a late relative, allowing him to buy a better car and upgrade his business. Jeremy, on the other hand, was drowning in debt, facing eviction, and desperate. In the months leading up to the crime, Jeremy's behavior had shifted. He became more irritable and resentful, often making snide remarks about Brian's good luck and easy money. According to text messages later recovered by police, Jeremy had even asked Brian for a loan, which Brian gently declined, fearing it would strain their friendship. This small rejection planted a seed of bitterness in Jeremy's mind, convincing him that Brian had abandoned him. On October 11, 2017, Brian closed his garage at the usual time and headed to a local bar to meet Jeremy. Witnesses said the two men seemed fine at first, laughing, drinking, but later argued quietly in a corner booth. Around midnight, they both left, with Jeremy offering to drive Brian home. Brian never made it back. The next morning, a jogger found his body dumped near a wooded area outside Charleston. He had been beaten severely and strangled with a belt. At first, Jeremy played the grieving friend, organizing candlelight vigils and offering interviews to local news stations about how much he missed Brian. However, inconsistencies in his statements caught investigators' attention. Jeremy claimed he dropped Brian off safely, yet nearby traffic cameras never captured his car returning from the direction he claimed. Further, Brian's wallet, watch, and car were missing, suggesting robbery, but strangely, nothing else valuable had been taken. Jeremy's alibi collapsed when police searched his apartment and found Brian's missing watch hidden in a drawer. Blood traces matching Brian's DNA were discovered in the trunk of Jeremy's car, despite his repeated denials of wrongdoing. Faced with mounting evidence, Jeremy finally cracked during interrogation. He admitted he planned to scare Brian into giving him money, but lost control during the confrontation. After killing Brian, he staged the scene to look like a random mugging gone wrong. At its core, the motive was a toxic mix of jealousy, financial desperation, and a deep sense of betrayal. Jeremy couldn't bear to see his best friend succeed while he struggled, especially after Brian refused to lend him money. What was supposed to be a scare turned into cold-blooded murder. Jeremy Scott was convicted of first-degree murder, robbery, and obstruction of justice. In 2019, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The judge, during sentencing, said, "It is heartbreaking when a friendship spanning decades ends with one man's life stolen and another's soul corrupted beyond redemption." Brian's family set up a memorial fund in his honor, using it to help local youth pursue careers in mechanics, something Brian would have loved. Jeremy Scott, serving a life sentence without parole at South Carolina's Broad River Correctional Institution.